locations where you can invest your money, and before you know, strategically, you know that there are some infrastructures that are coming within these houses. Invest in those locations. The likes of Kabusa that is emerging now, the likes of Apowasa that is emerging, and the likes of Kiami that is emerging now. These are
all right, sir. You've been in this business for over 2 years now. What would you say are the things that people are skeptical about in terms of investing in real estate, especially in Abuja?
Are scared of being scammed here in City. And of course, there are a whole lot of developers that lack integrity.
Okay.
Right, that is true. Right. But one thing I tell people, investors, first-time investors that want to invest in real estate, Abuja still remains one of the safest locations you can do real estate. And what are my reasons? You can do 100% due diligence to the very last point before even giving that money you want to invest, right? Compared to other states. But the major problem here now is that these investors don't even have this information. They don't have the right knowledge. They don't want to use property lawyer. They don't want to do research or background check or the developer they want to buy from, right? They don't want to ask questions. Ask questions. We have different land titles in Abuja. I can tell you there's still developers here in Abuja that still sell land, community lands to people, where we know that we have FCDA land title document, which is the best land title document you can have here in the city of Abuja, and it's very, very 100% verifiable to the very last point, because there are agencies, of course, you can go and check and verify, right? But lots of investors don't have this knowledge. They think every land in Abuja are just one. You just have one title document, same like how they operate the state level. But in Abuja, it's as simple and as clear as ABC and
Thank you so very much for that. That is really, really explanatory. You said integrity is one of the problems with more especially the developers. And then of course on the side of the investors, they don't do their due diligence.
Yes.
When the resources to make all of those research or background checks are available.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. The second question I'd ask, for Nigerians in the diaspora, what would you say to them? What would you advise them, regarding investing back home, especially here in Abuja?
Of course, I think the inflation rate that is happening in our country today, yes, we are crying over here, but I can tell you lots of these diaspora guys are highly favored, because let's say $1,000 now in Nigeria is over 1.5.
Yes.
And that is not actually money there
exactly.
Compared to before. So now it's easier for them to start acquiring properties here in Nigeria because of the inflation or the difference between naira and dollars. So, and it's a good thing for you to even invest, especially here in Abuja, because Abuja is a place where FCT is so intentional about providing infrastructures, right? And this is what brings massive appreciation to your investment here in Abuja. And Abuja is one of the safest places, of course, the city of power, right? So for investors in diaspora, come to Abuja and invest. It's one of the safest places. And again, like I said before now, right? Abuja is a place where you can do 100% due diligence, involve property lawyer, do all the necessary due diligence before making any payment.
Thank you. I mean, do due diligence, and of course Abuja is one of the ripest cities to invest in terms of real estate.
Yeah.
That is really great. Now, in terms of return on investment, what is the craziest portfolio growth you have seen in the real estate landscape in the city of Abuja?
Aside from Abuja, let me use myself for instance. I've done series of investment even before venturing into real estate. I've been doing real estate on a personal note, buying properties here and there, here in Abuja and in Asaba. Right in Asaba, for instance, I bought property for 3 million. Right today, those properties are worth over 80 million.
Wow.
Interval of 4 years. Which bank will give you that? No bank will give you that. Here, I remember when F41, before F41 got that, we bought properties there for 1.7 million, 2.7 million. Now those properties are worth over 40, 50, 60 million, depending on the square meter. So the return on your investment, first, lies to you being strategic when investing, having the right knowledge of what location should I invest into. We have emerging locations, and of course we have prime locations. Prime locations, of course, are very, very expensive, but there are emerging locations where you can invest your money, and before you know, strategically, you know that there are some infrastructures that are coming within these houses. Invest in those locations. The likes of Kabusa that is emerging now, the likes of Apowasa that is emerging, and the likes of Kiami that is emerging now. These are emerging locations, but people are looking at it, this place, but those are places you can actually afford now. Within 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years, you should have gotten over 500% ROI. Right? So let me even say something. The Uye you're seeing today that is a high prime location, Uye was an emerging location. If they told you 10 years ago to go and buy property in Uye, you won't buy. You won't buy. But today Uye is an emerging location that you can't even afford. If you want to buy property, the landed property, aside from structures like the land, you have to break the ban before you buy property.
This is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. So you've already answered part of my last question, which is where would you say are strategic locations or emerging locations? Because I know locations like Uzape, Meitama, Asokoro are really expensive for you to buy properties in those areas. Like you said, you have to like break the bank. So aside from Kabusa you mentioned and Apowasa, what other locations?
We have Kuje. Kuje is an emerging location. There's infrastructures coming out from there aggressively. You have Idu, is an emerging location. Idu is just, there's some part of Idu that is even fully developed, right? Idu has boundary with Jabi, right? Has boundary with Kiami. It's an emerging location. There are places you can still get FCDA land for as low as 5, 6, 7 million, right? Look, I've mentioned Kuje, then the likes of Karisana. See, like as I said, last year there was a place they were selling Kraftzmann 150 square meter for 4.5 million. Today, that same place is selling 150 square meter, selling for 14 million.
Wow! Because
of the dual carriage that that is coming from is it Gwarimpa also, that is going towards renewed hope, towards that houses. So as an investor, you have to be strategic. Right? Location is everything. After carrying out your diligence, be strategic with your investment. Don't just throw money around thinking you get it back like that. No, be strategic and get the location right.
Wow. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chukwemeka, for granting me this little interview, especially for clients and investors who are looking at investing but do not have better clarity. And you who are watching this video, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in the diaspora, this is an opportunity for you to take advantage of the vast potential that we have in the real estate landscape, more especially in the city of Abuja. As you've heard Mr. Chukwemeka said Abuja is one of the safest places to invest because you can carry out your due diligence to the last minute, to the last point, 100% to verify the lands or the properties that you are purchasing. My name is Elvis Kraftzmann from 247 Realty, and I am excited to help you get started. Thank you.